Please refer to Figure A, Exploded Side Section from your assembly guide. For sub-assemblies of the side vertical structure, you will need the following parts: skid plate, top ground support, bottom ground support, side vertical support, 4 1/4 20-inch bolts and nuts, 4 3/8 16-inch bolts, 6 for the Impressions model, and 2 side vertical bottom cap, only for the Impressions model. To begin the assembly of the exploded side section, keep in mind that the orientation of the skid plate is vital to the strength of the structure. Attach the skid plates to the bottom ground support using 4 1/4 20 by 1/2 inch long bolts and 1/4 20 hex nuts. Please refer to Figure A, Number 1, Exploded Side Section in your assembly guide. Then, position the top ground support. Please refer to Figure A, Number 2, Exploded Side Section in your assembly guide. Now slide the vertical into the end of the ground support subassembly until 4 holes align in the 3 parts. Fasten together with 4 3/8 16 by 3.5 inches long hex bolts and 3/8 16 hex nuts. Please refer to Figure A, Numbers 3 and 4, Exploded Side Section in your assembly guide. When making the assembly, it may be necessary to use pliers and a hammer to tap the bolts through. Be sure when doing this you do not damage the bolt threads. Once you have pre-assembled the vertical side supports, it's time to move on to the side support excavation for the placement of the concrete blocks. Refer to Stakes and String Line step in the assembly guide for the placement of the side support excavations. Once the location of the side support excavations is established, refer to Side Support Excavations for the hole sizes. First, you dig an 8-inch wide by 16-inch long by 11.5 inch deep block hole and a long trench for the ground supports, measuring 4 inches wide by 36 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches deep from the block hole. This is where you will install the concrete blocks. The holes should be dug to have the bottom of the block hole to be 11.5 inches from the level of the pool floor. Check this excavation with your transit. Place a concrete block in the hole and check to be sure the top of the block is 3.5 inches below the leveled pool floor. Then, make sure the side surface of the block is 11 3/4 inches from the string line. Also check to be sure the block is level. Please refer to Side Support Excavations and install concrete blocks in the assembly guide. Now, check the level of the 36 3/4 inch trench. It should be level with the top of the block. Then place the side vertical subassembly in the trench with the side vertical end on the block, the ground supports in the trench, and the skid plates up against the block. Please reference Side Support Excavations and install concrete blocks. At this point, the pool floor level should be 2 inches above the ground support channel. This area around the side vertical assemblies will need to be dug out to be level with the ground support channels. Be sure the vertical assemblies are even with the string line layout for the side of the pool. Measure 1 inch from the verticals and lay down a string line. Then measure 24 inches out towards the center of the pool. This area should be dug out to the side stakes. This is 24.5 inches from the center of the outer ground channels. The trench should be 2 inches deep from the pool floor and level with the ground channels. Please reference Dig Out for pressure pads. With the trench dug and double checking to make sure the trench is level, the next step is to install the pressure pads. Each vertical gets 2 pressure pads, one with a notch at the center and one without. As you will see, there are pressure pads with a double notch out and pressure pads without. Keep in mind that the notched pressure pad always goes closest to the vertical assembly. Fasten the pressure pads to the ground channel with 4 12 by 3/4 inch long screws through the 4 holes in the center of the pressure pad. Once this is completed for each of the pressure pads, connect the ends of the pressure pad to each other with 4 10 by 3/8 inch long screws.